All right, today we're going to dig into an idea that might just flip what you think about personal change on its head. It's not about some grand, heroic moment. It's about something way smaller, way harder, and honestly, a lot more powerful. We're talking about the discipline of presence and what it means to do your first real rep. So let's just jump right in with a question we've all asked ourselves, probably more than once. When it comes to our jobs, our health, our relationships, what's the actual secret sauce? What's the thing that really moves the needle? And I bet you have an answer ready. It's the one we've all been told 1,000 times. But what if that answer is, well, just wrong? What if the one thing we're all chasing, this idea of motivation, isn't really the key at all? Yeah, you heard that right. We're kicking things off with the motivation myth. Because think about it, we spend so much time and energy trying to feel ready, trying to get ourselves hyped up to do the thing. But this whole idea suggests that maybe, just maybe, how you feel doesn't matter nearly as much as what you do. Okay, so picture this. There are basically two kinds of days. First, you've got your hyped day. You know the one. You wake up feeling amazing, you're inspired, you feel strong, everything just clicks. Then you've got the promise day. You're in a bad mood, you've got zero energy, and the only reason you're even there is because you made a promise to yourself. And right here, this is the whole point, the real game changer. It is not the hyped day when everything's easy that creates change. Nope, it's the second one, the promise day. The day you show up when everything inside you is screaming, don't go, that is the day that actually builds the new you. And that brings us to this idea of the real rep. And it's probably not what you're thinking. We're not talking about that perfect, powerful, Instagram-worthy moment. The most valuable rep, the one that really counts, isn't about looking good. It's about just getting through it. You know, bodybuilders have a pretty, let's just call it a raw term for this, for training on those tough promise days. It's not pretty. You're not glowing. You're just there, grinding it out with a scrunched up face because you said you would be. So this is the foundation, right here. It's the simple and kind of brutal act of just showing up. Not because you feel like it, because you won't, but because you made a commitment. The action comes first. The feeling might or might not follow later. But, you know, getting there is only step one. The next part is to stay, to actually be present, to sit with that discomfort, that boredom, that powerful urge to just check out and go somewhere else in your head. This is where you build real mental muscle. And finally, you have to finish. You have to push past that little voice in your head that says, good enough. It's about completing the task, finishing the workout, seeing the conversation through to the end, even when your mind has already packed its bags and left. So that's what it is. That's the real rep. It's not for the highlight reel. It's the ugly one, the one where you have to fight through every bit of resistance just to survive it. That is the repetition that actually changes who you are. But let's be honest, this isn't really about the gym, is it? That's just a great metaphor. So now we got to ask the real question. Where in your life are you showing up physically, but you've mentally and emotionally checked out? And I want you to really think about this for a second. Is it your job, maybe during those endless meetings? Is it in your relationships, when you're having a conversation with someone you love? Is it just at home on the couch, where you just a body in a chair? Okay, and let's go one layer deeper. Why? Disconnecting like that is a defense mechanism. It's a way to cope. So what are you avoiding? What difficult feeling or awkward conversation, what tension are you trying to escape by mentally checking out? Now imagine doing the opposite. Instead of avoiding, what would it actually look like to engage? To decide to stay present on purpose, even when it feels really hard. Picture that meeting or that tense conversation, but this time you're all there. What changes? Okay, so reflection is great, but action is way better. So how do you actually start doing this? How do you perform your first real rep of presence like this week? It's a really simple two-step process. First, just pick one area, just one, where you know you've been skipping these mental reps. Second, define exactly what staying is going to look like. Not some vague goal, but a concrete action. Maybe it's, I'm going to finish this tough phone call without rushing. Or I'm going to actually sit in silence with my partner for 5 minutes instead of grabbing my phone. Look, the challenge isn't to change your entire life overnight. It's simply to complete one real rep. So take a look at this prompt on the screen. How would you fill it in for yourself? What's the one specific action you're going to take this week to stay present when it gets hard? That decision, that single difficult rep, trust me, that's where everything begins.